Hello guys, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and welcome to another indie game. This one's called Melting of the Winter Gears, and you might remember the developer of this game from one of my favorite games, indie games, Midnight on the Milky Way. That was an amazing game. The link will be down in the description if you want to play that game and this game. So, a girl made of glass. She follows a command set deep in her heart. Let's start the game. So, Father, in the midst of that fearless stormy night, the doll, once so cold and expressionless, was finally overcome with the indescribable warmth. A feeling that seemed to flood the entire room in a gentle embrace. How sweet, how kind, how fragile. It was far too good to be true. The moment was soon to be extinguished with all the grace of a candle in a storm. But the doll, even knowing this, lay still until the breath melted into silence. So it says daughter. Yes, it's kind of hard to read that text. Father? Ah, the door is quite open. Wow, this looks really nice. Father, what on earth are you up to now? Your face is atrocious. Oh well, you see. You know how late it is? I haven't checked. Of course you haven't. Your wrinkles will only get worse if you keep staying up so late, and they'll get doubly worse if you keep making yourself cry. I see. I'm sorry. Then... enough of that. What is it that you got up? This? Oh, you like it. I just know it. I've been transcribing this new story sent from the bureau. It's one of bittersweet memory and love and mystery. Ah, so it's one of those. It's really quite good. Some parts are missing, but I can see the premise. Apparently, the town where it took place was wiped off the map. Why don't you hop up with Pop? Pop here and take a looky look. Okay. I'm trying to get a feel of the characters, but it's gonna take some time. Don't say something so disgusting. Although, if you say it has a promise, I promise on its promise. If it isn't interesting, it's off to bed with you. I see the roles are reversed on this one. Then I think we'll be all night. Father, you're getting presumptuous. Precisely. But let's get on with it, shall we? This is what I pieced together so far. So they are all narrators, right? Before the storm and the dancing, and the singing and the heartbreak, there was a doll, wading through the snow. From far off she looked like a phantom, her white locks and thin shawl floating behind her on the stinging winter wind. Upon closer inspection, however, one could see the clicking ball, joints of her fingers and hands. Oh, it's an actual doll, okay, through thin layers of ice. The cold did not bother her, anyway. She was truly inhuman, walking with such a blank expression. The doll has been walking for a long time. In truth, she was following a set of abandoned train tracks buried beneath the snow. A normal human of flesh and blood won't give up on frozen solid snow by now, but this doll had no flesh to frostbite, or blood to freeze. She simply walked on, music box in hand, following the tracks that will lead her to a town full of people who will have money to spend. So it's some kind of performer. The command echoed in her head. All you need to do is play the music and get us some money. Got it? How long ago was that she heard those words? It was farther than yesterday. It was more distant than last year. But time hardly exists for a doll. The words were engraved into her cogs and wheels as soon as they were spoken. A command that must always be followed, even after the speaker has long since disappeared. All at once, the railroad tracks came to an abrupt end, and before the doll lay a winter white town. By the way, this game is so well done. In the graphic aspect of the game, I'm amazed. So that's the doll. I'll play a song for coin. Any song for coin. The doll is so pretty, what the hell. She's my wife now. A nickel for a few notes, a melody for metal. Tell me what you wish to hear. There was no answer. The town stood without a word. I'll play a song for coin, any song for coin. And then before the doll, I guess, appeared a light-colored cat, her small-like body blending into the snow. That's a cute cat. She switched her tail while staring inquisitively at the frozen traveler. The doll stared back. Is there something you wish to hear? The kitty. You're speaking to me? No, I am speaking to the house behind you. Wow. So the glass thing can bite. How fascinating. Fascinating enough to play a song, I hope. The cat switched their tail in irritation. The pesky traveler was missing some manners. Any song, is it? So if I ask for the sound of a dog's bark, will you play it? I cannot. How about an elephant's trumpet or a raven's call? I cannot. So you offer anything I wish to hear, and yet you cannot do something so simple. Pathetic as they come, offering things you can't deliver. That's how it is with these glass things, like you. You wander and babble until you exhaust your purpose and crack apart. She got mad. Got anything to say, glass thing? If you're so eager for the sound of an elephant, why don't you go find one yourself? And while you're doing that, find a coin so I can play you something. The cat searched for an empty opening, but the doll says we're truly cold. Fine, glass thing. Then you pick the song, I'll give you a bit of purpose. If that's what you wish. You can hear that? I hope you can hear that. And so the doll's porcelain hands found their way to the crank of her music box. The mysterious contraption began to play a song. Its cogs and wheels worked in time while the brass face rattled gently. The paint on the handle was worn through with use. The metal plugs were in desperate need of polish. Still, the song surely continued. The flickering cat stood transfixed by the sound. You see, the town had been silent for so long. For a moment, the barren land seemed to come alive. The music cut through the snow and buried itself into the earth. It flowed above the rooftop and soaked into the sky. The song that had been played for so many years through so many towns sounded like a miracle. And all that while, the doll expressionlessly cranked the box. Expressionlessly. It was a song. I know that. Tell me, where did you learn it? From somewhere. No, where did you get it? From someone. Yeah, you're no good to talk to. What a killjoy. Let us have the pleasure of never meeting again. Ta-ta. At that moment, the doll reached down and yanked the cat's tail. Unhand me, witch. But you haven't paid me yet. You think a precious kitty like me will have coin? Fool, loon, you violent delinquent. I'll let you go when you pay your due. I haven't got a red cent, it's the truth. That was a rhyme. I wonder if it was on purpose. Slowly, the doll loosened her grip on the screeching feline. She didn't seem to fully comprehend the situation. You're still expecting it, aren't you? Foolish, iconish glass thing. I don't have anything for you. But there's someone out there who does. The cat turned and padded off into the window. The doll, unsure, stood still in the blustery open. Her glassy eyes searched the town before her. Nothingness upon nothingness. And so she followed after. How long had it been since the town was alive? The doll walked alongside the crumbling buildings, doomed to collapse in total obscurity. The paint was cheap and faded, the roof tiles done in. Remnants of colorless paper clung to the rusted nails along the walls. All the words had been wiped away by the last season's rain, or maybe the season before that, or the one before that. How empty that little slice of the country was. Enough so to make you think there was no one else left in the whole world. You couldn't get much coin if you were the only one in the world, could you? The mysterious cat disappeared from sight. However, her tiny paw prints in the snow left more than enough of a trail, and so the doll obediently followed it. She wandered through the long dead market, past the broken fences and over the occasional puddle of silver bullet casings. It was at the heart of the hollow town that she found a pond, a bridge, and a body with a wistful grin. The body lay still in a pillow of snow. "Are you okay, man? Are you awake?" the doll asked. The body sat unstirring, but the grin grew very slightly bigger. The doll took a step forward to look. Their clothes were loose and tattered and flecked with bits of frost. Patches had been sewn in with a clumsy hand. Not a single puff was emitted from their bluish lips, with their eyes, darkened with raccoon-like circles, fluttered open halfway. "I don't think this man has some coins. Or this person. It's about time, isn't it?" they whispered. The voice came out like crumpling paper. The doll could only stare blankly back at the smiling blue face. "To be honest, I didn't think you'd come for me. A creature of my kind, going out like that. It sure don't sound right to me. But Miss Angel, I'm happy I waited a little longer. I'm sorry that I couldn't do better. You can thank me now." The bedraggled body extended their hand towards the doll, a look of relief washing over their tired face. Finally, it was over. They could feel content, their broken heart buried cold beneath the snow at last. But the doll abruptly slapped her head. "What? Hey, this is breaking my immersion." It says drifter, right? "Ah. Miss Angel, pardon my offenses, but..." The doll put her open hand forward and made a curt motion. "Money." This doll. I like this doll. "Money?" "Yes, pay up." "Gee, Miss Angel, is this some kind of new penance thing? So even heaven is coming by rough times." "Angels? Heaven? I don't know about any of that. I only want money. Same." The scruffy stranger paused in shock, the relief on their face melted into confusion with exhausted sigh. "So that's how it is. I'm not getting laid off so easy. So much for that. And what's it that I gotta pay for?" "The song." "What song?" "The one I played." "You're a doll, right? I really mistook you for a beautiful angel." "I don't remember ordering any songs from you. As nice as I am sure there are. All I've been doing is counting sheep." "What a nice dream I was having. I even got to see a beautiful angel." "You're that desperate for money, huh? I can't relate to this doll." The command echoed once again. "All you need to do is play the music and get us some money. Got it?" "Man, you're not one, aren't you?" "I think I understand pretty well. No stopping that, I guess." From their coat, the stranger produced a jingling purse. The doll's hand immediately went for the prize, but the sneaky drifter hands were even faster. You rascal, you. You'll do a little something for me, and I'll give you some of this to you. Sweet deal, ain't it?" "No, if I wait for you to fall asleep." "Well, miss, that's a little hardcore." And by asleep, I mean dead. "I'm not gonna make you do anything wild. Just spend the day with me. That's all I'm asking." "Spend the day?" "Yeah, let's just enjoy each other's company." Even in games, you have to pay to be with women. Talk a little, have a walk around, partake in some amateur philosophizing. This place is as empty as a church on a weekday, so saying you come along makes me feel 10 kinds of lucky. Company. If that's all there to it, I don't see a problem. The doll was met with a charming smile. Beneath the exhaustion and chills, the stranger's good-natured grin broke through. Okay. I hope this story doesn't break my heart. And the doll's face twitched to mirror them. It was an expression made long ago, nearly forgotten from lack of use. A way of saying hello or even just because. That's a cute smile. Yeah, that's the smile. That's what a smile's for. It was a gift you give to someone else for simply existing. Gee, miss, and here I was thinking you were icing all the way through. Let's say we can get a few more of those greens out of you. No problem, but it'll cost you extra. Good thing I got some pennies to spare. But do you really have money? It might not be money inside the coin purse. Sorry if I didn't ask your name proper. I'm Noah. What about you? I'm... Back then she said, I know, it's perfect for you. You look just like her. My name is Lillian. That's a lovely name. It is. Thank you very much. And so I'm not quite sure where to go from there. Father, it's not that I haven't got the papers, it's just that things seems to be a bit out of order. We don't know the two went around the town a bit, but they were when. If you're going to fuss about it, I'll just fix it for you. It's darling, what are you doing? Putting it together, that's what it's all about. That's the map, dear, be careful with that. If I were them, I'd go... Oh, we get to choose where to go, that's nice. Can we save? I'm gonna save just in case. I think this game only has one ending, but apparently you can choose different things, right? To the business district? Well, this is like a date to not be lonely, right? So I want to spend the day with someone, but I've been alone for a long time. I don't want to go to the church, that's kind of depressing. We're gonna go to the outskirts of the town. Are you sure about that? She just got to town, and now she's walking right off it. But with someone. Well, it's the most interesting place. I want to see what's there. There isn't any issue jumping to the most compelling parts, I suppose. That's what knows a hook. It is. Is that right? If this is the hook, then why don't we put it at the beginning? That way it'll be extra interesting. No, that's not how it works. But then nobody will understand the characters or their purpose or even the town itself. Easy, I'll just write a note in the margin here to tell them. Enough of that, dear. Why don't we start the story again, alright? They were off to the outskirts, of course. It was the dead of winter's cold, but something about the outside felt really cold. The town was empty, shelf left behind, but yeah, I chose the outskirts because they say there was nothing in town, so if there's nothing in the town, might as well go out, right? The town was an empty shell left behind by time, every part of it feeling hollow, feeling distinctly unalive. Any trace of warmth had been erased the cruel years before, but the outside was different. You see, for the outside, there had never been any warmth in the first place. It did not feel unalive, but it was a place where things were taken, were broken, were hurt. A place where things were shattered apart and burned. And the sense was so strong, it crawled through the frozen earth and around the travelers above. Something about this place was wrong. The doll absent-mindedly continued walking, but Noelle came to a sudden stop. The wind took fiercely at their patchy coat and nipped at their paled lips. Oh yeah, this guy might just die from cold, right? Maybe that was a wrong decision. The dread was overwhelming, they pulled their coats tight around them. Lillian finally stopped and turned to look back. The wind was pulling so hard his shawl was about to fly off her. She hardly blinked as flakes of wind flowed iceful into the frozen face. She blended in almost perfectly with the rest of the landscape. It was at this moment she would fade away. Noelle stood shaking at the edge of the town. What are you doing? She made no movement and neither did Noelle. Only the wind blew between them. There's nothing interesting out there, miss. Let's go somewhere else. Oh, I took the wrong decision, I guess. There's some trees. She pointed. Indeed, there was a bundle of trees barely outlined in the distance, as well as some indistinguishable mounds. Perhaps something interesting really was there. Perhaps there was something they wished to see. Perhaps there was even someone else. I don't know, there's something about this place. Can you feel it? Okay, then let me make another selfish request. I'll even pay you extra. Double. Is money that much of a concern? Would you rather pay triple? Double, quadruple, I don't care. Yeah, this guy doesn't have any money, right? But Miss Lillian, please come over here. That's all I ask. Please, just listen to me. With some hesitation, the doll returned back to the familiarity of the town. I forgot to bring water with me and I was speaking a lot. Just bear with me, guys. Noelle gave a sigh of relief. They were shaking beneath their oversized coat. Once again, the two were into the desolate point. Still, the sense lingered. So Lillian glanced behind her. The entire scene was blank, with only the faintest impression that there was a world beyond it. Trees, mounds, something else as well. A fleck of color dot the otherwise empty landscape. It was impossible to be sure, but Lillian felt as if a fleck was staring back. Okay, so I have to choose all of them. Anyway, let's go to the church. God, the music for this game is incredible, just like the other game, like the Milky Way game. It has some amazing music. I don't know what's happening with my wording today. I'm sorry about that. In a town of sunken roofs and crumbling stone, the church's steeple rose pearl and tall, and untouched overhead. Somehow it has avoided the conflict that ravaged the streets below, as if the iron fence around it warded off bullets and stone, as if a greater power had ignored all about it. A white steeple against a white snowscape, in a sea of empty shells. Even the overgrown vines in the front garden were a wonder. In depths of winter, they still remained a vibrant green. They twist and curl along the walls, encasing the church in a leaf embrace. Perhaps it was a protective spell. Is magic in this world? But I guess there is a walking doll. Might as well be magic, right? The two drifters allowed themselves in through the fence and into the garden of green. It's magical, ain't it? No, outside. It makes this place feel a little less like a coffin. He stumbled on ahead. With a slight bow and enormous grin, Noelle held the door open. Inside, rainbow-colored light was pouring from the stained glass windows. Specks of dust were cow dancing in their streams. It was like the center of a marble. Lillian could help but be drawn in. All the color in the whole world was hidden in this room. The town was forgotten by time, but this church was completely, totally untouched by it. It does look nice. What do you think? I thought so. The only thing that would make it nicer is if there was some people around. But it's too late for that, I guess. Oh, I know we can play church. Let's give it a go, alright? Play church? What do you mean? Play church? It's a pretend game. Kids play it all the time. You make up whatever you want. It'll cost you extra. Fine by me. Yeah, you don't mind paying up extra because you don't have any money, right? I'll be the confessor and you be the priest. Father, I have done something I'm ashamed of. Did anyone see you? Only the eyes of our Lord. Then it's okay. Then it's okay. But Father, I've sinned, a terrible sin at that. What did you do? I stole. What did you steal? Money. Can I have some? Oh, Lillian, why are you like this? Father, I can do no such thing. I can have you partake in my sin. I understand, my child. You do? Of course, admitting to such an act is an admirable thing in the eyes of the Lord. The patient and kind priest presented her cupped hands to the pitiable sinner. What is it, Father? Nothing, child. It's just time to pay your debt. Excuse me, Miss Leah, but you'd be a terrible priest. And excuse me, Mr. Sinner, but you'd be a terrible thief. Maybe when it comes to money, but not to heart. You hear what I said? I did, but I'm waiting for the punchline. It wasn't a joke. I'm still waiting. Miss Lillian, you make me all sorts of nervous. But you're pretty interesting too. I'm sure many things are interesting to you. For one, you make everything sound like an insult. Yeah, with that resting face too. Yeah, it's like. For two, you always got that stone cold face on. Yeah, exactly. For three, Miss Lillian, do you mind me asking something? The drifter's face had the usual cheerful expression, but the voice echoed in a stark serious. Is there anything you wish you could confess? If there really was a priest there, of course. Is there anything you would say? No. Oh, nothing at all? There's nothing to say. The doll said it on reflex, but something about it felt odd. She searched, but there was truly nothing. Looking within herself only led to a void of nothingness, a pit empty all the way down. Well, she's a doll, right? So there's bound to not be much, except the orders. I'm guessing this is like a robot thing. Like they program her to do something, and that's the only thing she can do. Hey, don't beat yourself up. I'm sorry. Some folks say dolls don't have feelings, not real ones, anyways. But I just can't believe that. To say somebody's all wrong just because they express things funny, it just rubs me the wrong way. It's bad. It's bad? It's awful. It's hellish. That kind of thinking, it just maybe wants to kneel over death, doesn't it? Noel's sharp laugh cut through the church air. The pit in Leland's chest fell even deeper. If I were a priest, a terrible one, yes, you could confess to me. Is that enough for Miss Lillian? I was only playing church. Oh, I see, just playing church. A child's game. Simple as that. If I were to confess... Noel scratched their chin and said it true. Okay. They mused and moved and meditated. Not for a moment did Lillian stare away. Nope, I don't have anything. Lied. Nothing. I don't have a single regret, Father. Please listen to the sincerity in my lily white words. I live my life with nothing but joy and inner fulfillment. Yippee. Did you find that fulfillment falling down the stairs? Or have you always been this joyful? Lillian is savage. A good one, but I really mean it. There are things I could have done better, but the result will be the same. It's pointless to regret things like that. Maybe if I had to, I'd say I regret being born, or something like that. Please, did you really fall down the stairs? Oh, what's that? Was somebody just outside? Perhaps. Miss, there shouldn't be anyone else in town besides us. Not even a cat? It's way too cold for anything to be wandering out there. Heck, even the birds are shaking. Is that so? It's probably just the wind. Let's get a move. Maybe the cat is the angel, right? Whirling Noel picked out the door. The iron gate outside was swung slightly ajar. Beyond it was a thin trail of disgruntled snow. A trail from when the duo walked in, or was it from someone else entirely? There was not a soul inside. While the doll looked blankly, Noel felt a shiver all the way down. It couldn't be. It was so close, too close. But all the two could do was walk on. To the business district, okay. I wonder if choosing the order affects something. You know, I'm expecting to finish this game in one sitting, depending on how long it is, but if it's too long, I'm gonna make 2 or even 3 videos, which I don't want to do because I want to play this just straight up. People were here once, so it's him. There was evidence all around. Cafes with colorful signs offering the day's special, bakeries delivering fresh confectionaries at sunrise, dainty shops displaying the newest fashions, all the way from the big city. Oh, the crowds that must be gathered from the Sunday market. The way the people must push out pulled through the lively streets. How pleasant, how peaceful, how ideal. There was a startling clack as Noel's boot crushed something embedded within the snow. Nothing, they say, inspecting the ground, just a bit of glass. Indeed, beside them was a shop window shattered beyond repair and glittering in the light. The mannequins within were toppled onto each other, dustings of glass were lodged into their cotton sides. How pleasant, how peaceful, how ideal. It was surely like that once. The two walked quietly through the glittering streets until they stopped in front of a building, covered in tattered paper. A tale of love and passion, the whirlwind of the West. Hair trending, a soldier's last stance against an impossible foe. She's got the face of an angel and the mind of an imp, a shocking twist. The faces of beautiful people with rosy lips and it's a cinema, right? And starry eyes peek through the tears of the giant posters. The theater was covered in boards and nails and long gone people, but Noel's eyes still sparkled at the sight. Let's take a look, shall we? He grinned broadly and pushed against the heavy doors, which were barely hanging onto the rusted hinge they hardly budged. Noel pushed, they huffed and pressed their feeble weight against the door. There was a slight groan but not much progress. Lillian watched quietly. Without thinking, she reached forward and gripped a push. The door creaked, the hinges crumbled, and the duo was tumbling inward. So she's strong, I'm guessing. Ugh. Into the dark they went with all the grace of an elephant on roller skates. A healthy cloud of dust greeted them as they kissed the ground. Miss Lillian. Miss, are you okay? Miss, please answer. Not so loud, I'm trying to sleep. Feeling comedic, aren't we? It's dark, so I decided to lighten the mood. That's funny, but I was really worried for a moment. Like, what if you really did get knocked out? Or if your box was broken? I'm a doll, and this box can be repaired as easily as me. I suppose so. But who's going to repair you? There's no one here. There's no need to worry. She stated that she had many times in the past. That's my dog walking. It was common knowledge, of course. Dolls can feel pain. Anything can be repaired or replaced. Even so, the expression of Noel's face stayed. It's natural to worry about somebody when you think they've been hurt. It doesn't matter if they actually were or not. It's just a natural reaction. Oh, then I'm immensely worried. What's the matter, miss? Your brain seems to be seriously injured. Did you hit it on the way down? Please, answer me. Sure, make fun of me all you want, but there's nothing wrong with feeling the way I do. It's that kind of empathy makes the world go round. Their face radiated a budding enthusiasm for such a bedraggled bomb. Their words came off so optimistic. Yeah, that's right. Lillian felt a twinge of something odd. So you really see the world like that? Sure I do. It sounds nice, doesn't it? What's with that face, miss? The doll stood up abruptly and tossed off her skirts. She cranked her mechanical box a few times just to check. It's working just fine after all. And so she turned and walked farther into the dilapidated theater, leaving Noel all by his lonesome. Wow, miss, wait for me! I mean, and so the crying boom went scrabbling after. Miss Lillian, I don't want to be too clingy, but a part of enjoying each other's company is sticking together, yeah? Without a word, Lillian pointed to the ceiling. Or rather, the lack of one. So that's how the light is coming in. The roof of an ancient theater had caved in, causing a perfect circle of white sky to pour an equally perfect circle of white snow onto the seats below. Noel's enthusiasm melted over so slightly. So that's how it is, huh? I guess it's to be expected. Not like we could get a good flick anyhow. Indeed, he was right. The screen at the very front had been ripped through, and scratched by a giant plow. Uh-oh. The tire drifted aside and half collapsed to the ground. Are you taking a nap now? Nah, I'm just getting a breather. The door fiasco might be up something out of me after all. It's a shame. This place was probably real nice once. But now it's too late, I guess. He says that a lot. His voice died off with a wistful breath, told Lillian. They looked just as they did when she found them in the snow. Tired, empty, like they were to melt away in an instant. Her hand on the crank of the box, she stepped forward as she stayed of the theater into the crunching snow. She's gonna play a song? The light cascaded down from the ceiling and illuminated the doll in white. She looked like an angel or a ghost, depending on what you want to see, right? And she stood so very still, not a single puff of breath from her porcelain lips. The seconds in that dilapidated theater seemed to come to a halting stop. But the moment was suddenly filled with the wondrous sound of the mechanical box. All at once, the theater was full. It was filled with people, it was filled with voices, it was filled with the color and life. The memory of a past time before washed over the room, and the ghost in white played it with a steady hand, never hesitating for a second. This is your song. This is what it sounds like. Noel watched intently. They wished so deeply to close their eyes and drift off into darkness. In truth, their mind was racked with exhaustion. How nice it would be to finally fall asleep. But not now. Not in this moment. Not when the world was filled with so much life. Noel watched the doll and the light all around her until the minutes began yet again. Lillian ended the song with one last crank before turning to face her companion. Has the brain damage finally caught up to you? And there's the Miss Lillian I know. For a moment I really thought I was seeing an angel again. Oh, brain damage after all. Maybe so. Hey, how long had you had that box there? The doll paused until she never stopped to wonder about that before. At this point it was like an extension of her very self. There was not a memory without it. I was born with it. What are you, identical twins? Yes. Noelle waited for an extended retort and one of sarcastic variety, but it never came. She was stone-faced as always. You really mean it, don't you? I don't see the issue. The box has many mechanical parts, so do I. We have a similar composition. It must be oiled every once in a while to keep the gears running smoothly, same as I. There is little difference between me and this box. She said that all in complete sincerity. Noelle moved in over giving a small laugh. I didn't think about it that way. I understand you a little better now. Yeah, that makes sense. Now this is truly the Miss Lillian I know. Thank you. And as natural as playing the song, the doll smiled. They made their way through the dark of the theater and back to the front entrance. Oddly, the collapsed door had been moved aside as to avoid tripping. It wasn't like that before, was it? Impossible. Is someone following us? The cat, maybe? Warily, the two walked back into the glittering street. So they returned to the bridge where they met. Before they even knew it, the sky turned dark, and the air even colder than before. Small spatterings of light began to peek out from above. The bridge was just as they had left it. Noelle's shaped snow angel and all. Ah, how the time does fly. It feels like it was only just started. Except my joints. My joints don't feel that way at all. What do your joints feel? They feel like they want to crumble up into the snow pile there and take a nice long nap. It's starting to snow. Well, you know, brilliant power flakes began to flutter down from the sky. Noelle yanked their hands out from their pockets and tipped the chain into the air. Eyes closed, they let the snow fall where it may. What are you doing? It's freezing over. Why would you do that? Because it feels nice, I think. When things get colder, they feel cleaner. Somehow. Like the frostbite clears out all the bad stuff. You're gonna die, man. Maybe you're already dead. It hurts a little, but everything lasts longer. To Lillian, they look like a lonely statue. The snow pile of their hat and coat slips until they appear that the weight under that they had always been here. I'm sorry about that. Standing, waiting, arms outstretched. Time marched by, but they could always be there, waiting. It was made clear by the look on their face. The place they once belonged no longer exists. All they could do now was wait. I nearly forgot. The money. I promised to pay you, didn't I? Double, triple, what have you? They finished around their coat and pronounced the tempting coin purse, giving it a good shake. And so... Actually, did we ever agree on a price? It was somewhere from 1 to 2 million, I believe. Now, miss, I doubt all the purses in the countryside could fill that. Let's see here. They began to count all the coins in the purse. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A brilliant idea struck them. They took Lillian's hand in their own, and with the widest grin, they abandoned counting and simply dropped the entire bag into her palm. All this. That's good enough for you. It's all I got. It's a satisfactory amount, thank you. Lillian had never held so much money in her life. The weight of the coins felt otherworldly. She clutched the purse to her chest in disbelief. Thank you very much. Thank you for the company. It's been a while since I enjoyed myself so much. Say, miss. Now that you got all the money, what'll you do next? I'll go get more money. More? And after that, I'll go find more. I know this is like life. You just need money all the time. It's never enough money. Miss, is that what you're out for? I don't understand how that's wrong. She gazed at him with unquestionable sincerity. Not once had she ever considered anything else. Why was she? Those were the words she was born with. As all of us. Lillian. Right at that moment, a fierce wind tore through the town. The words were stolen right out of his mouth. Maybe it's a sign that you should start looking for cover. Their stomach's looking pretty nasty. The doll nodded and fastened her music box tight. But when she turned to go, Noel was standing just as still. Aren't you coming with? I'm busy. Busy standing around in the cold? Sure, gosh. Are you still interested in me, Miss Lillian? She took her shawl tight around her and huffed. Hardly. You're just acting odd. There was no response, just an annoying bright smile. Freeze, then. I couldn't care less. Alrighty then. Stand around and turn into a hunk of ice. Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself. They looked about as cheaper as they had before. Lillian was bewildered by that kind of face, so she turned on her heel and strode through the snow, away from the odd stranger and the disconcerting smile. She suddenly wished to get as far away as possible. Maybe she would leave this town as soon as tomorrow, or even in the midst of night. She marched on faster with the wind in her ears and the jingle of coins in her purse. Behind her, the stranger waved. They got smaller and smaller until they became a flickering speck. And all that at once, they were swallowed up by the storm. Okay, we're back with the daughter and the father. What in the world was that? The storm. It's a storm, father. I don't remember the storm being quite that early in the story. Now, let me take a look. Oh, you sound slow. The storm is outside this very instant. I see what a surprising circumstance we situate ourselves in. Or rather, Mother Nature has situated us in. Don't tell me you're afraid of a little thunder, dear. I'm not. I'm merely cautious. There's no harm in some healthy caution, is there? Not at all. It would be trouble if you were actually afraid, of course. All good stories have a few ferocious storms. The wind in town was becoming fierce and colder, but it was nothing compared to what will appear next. Do you remember who all was in the town? There's the doll lady, of course, and the bomb guy, and the cat. That's correct. But there was someone else, as well. It's just that nobody has noticed it yet. It was only a matter of time. How does this work? These damn dolls. Sorry, just lost my temper there. You know, it says dolls can feel stuff nowadays. Isn't that neat? I don't know about you. You look a little chilly. I had to keep your name. I know, it's perfect for you. You look just like Lillian. Alright, Lillian, let's get along. You know, we might even become good friends. Morning light flowed over the silent town and gleaming off the shattered glass windows. It crawled through the cracks of the ceilings that filtered through the colorful panes of the church, falling upon the doll's still face. With such an expression, one could believe she was fast asleep. So it seems even glass things can dream. The light also filtered through the persnickety smoke, like cat. Oh yeah, it looks like smoke here. Who sat smoldering at the feet of the doll? What an uproarious din you were making in your so-called sleep, although you could have been dreaming of much. Not with that cockfield head of yours, but she was dreaming. The doll's eyes began to flutter open and landed on the smoky figure in front of her. Oh, it's the rat. I'm a cat, Julian witch. Did you find the elephant you were interested in? Or had you given up already? You were so adamant about it before. Yeah, you're simply not good to talk to at all. So no elephant then. The flickering cat's whiskers twitched in ever growing annoyance, but Lillian remained steadfast. What was the cat searching for? She couldn't find it, not in such cold eyes. Once again, I pray that we may be so fortunate as to never cross paths again. But you came here to see her. What are you talking about? And as lightning speed, Lillian reached out and almost yanked the cat by the tail. Wait. Enough of this. My name is Lillian. And why does that matter now? Because you keep calling me Glasting, and that's not my name. You didn't care to introduce yourself the first time we met, so now what makes you interested? Lillian fell silent. She could not recall the time and place of the memory, but she knew that it had been precious to her once. That with those simple words, her entire world was formed, even if the speaker's face was shrouded in fog. Oh, like Fogface from the other game. But the cat with her sharp eyes felt a wave of bitterness rise within her as she looked at the doll, with the deepest contempt. A glass thing is a glass thing. It's a glass thing, outraged and soulless and easy to shatter. I don't like this cat. They don't feel pain and then make a wonderful crystalline ring when they are smashed. When they are smashed? Or when they are pierced or blown to bits? You strip off their uniforms and pull limb from limb? Well, that's dark. I don't understand. Glass things are made to understand, only do. A thing that lives solely of the wishes of others is a thing that shouldn't exist. Like God? Lillian's hand grew limp and the smoky tail slipped through. See? You'll understand in due time. How empty things like you really are. The doll watched the cat slink away through the open church. Snowflakes were falling in and melting on the floor. She was sure that she had closed the door last night, but it was all blur she had, hasn't she? There was the beginning of a storm, a creaking old tear, a liar's smile. That smile. There was simply too many thoughts for such a foggy head. Lillian dutifully checked her trusty mechanical box before heading out of the church and into the light. Back into the streets, the doll went crankling the box at a steady pace. Her song echoed off the decaying walls and loosened sheets of ice. I'll play a song for a coin, any song for a coin, a nickel for a few notes, a melody for metal. Tell me what you wish to hear. Yet again there was no answer, done so with no word. With the gentle snow and emptiness, it felt as if she was trapped into a snow globe with only her own song to keep her company. She could play her music and beg for coin as long as she wished. She could fill the town with illusionary life. In the end, the buildings were still crumbling and the glass was still shattered, with nobody left to mourn it. No cat, no bomb, no life at all. No coin. The doll decided she was going to leave for good when she heard a small jingle from her skirts. It was the tall pack of coins Noel had left her the night before. Now I think about it, his name Noel. He'd been smiling so thrillingly when he handed over, no other care in the world. A bomb like that must be sleeping about now, lying around in the cold like a lost dog. I mean, if the town is empty, you can just go inside a house, right? But the air must be freezing into icicles, sticking straight out like a frozen clothes pole. That would be entertaining to see, at least. That was that. She said goodbye to the old dog and then, be on her way, she'd go find more coin. So off she went to the bridge. Except the fool was nowhere to be seen. His familiar snowy indent has been filled up with the storm last night, and there wasn't any footprints inside. There was, however, a very peculiar stranger looking over into the frozen river. Stranger? It's missing an arm. Oh goodness, I could swear I just seen it. Oh please, please, please God, I'll do 1,000,000 push-ups if my wish come true. There was a lively missus with a smile twice as peppy as she was tall. In one bandaged hand she held a heavy shovel, dull from overuse. In the other, well, there wasn't a hand at all. Her sleeve was tied up halfway swinging around as the bounce on her heels. Come on God, just a little bit. I'll do 2,000,000 push-ups even. The 3,000,000? I don't know if I could. The stranger clearly was lacking in the upstairs department, perhaps even a bit loony. But Lillian took hardly a step forward when the very stranger turned around and drew their shovel like a knight's sword. Oh goodness, you're just a harmless one. The lady lowered her shovel from Lillian's chin and adorned a truly wonderful smile. The doll, however, was immune to all sorts of pleasantries. Did you see a person around here? A person? Gosh, there aren't any other people here besides little old me. All the people here are either 6 feet under or somewhere even deeper than that. What, are you looking for somebody? I don't know, am I? I don't know, are you? Take a guess. Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe Maybe, or maybe not. The dark, dangerous stranger from a moment before melted away. All that was left was a pure befuddled buffoon. The poor victim looked to Lillian for a smidgen of hope. Maybe. Oh goodness, yay, I won. Or did I? I don't know, did you? Please, Miss Doll, I can do this again. But if you want, we could search together. I'm looking for somebody too. But didn't you say there weren't any people in town? That's right, but don't worry, my person is already dead. So they are more of a body. So that explains the shovel, okay. So I was looking at the river in case anybody show up. I never heard of that before. That's the only way to find a body. Sometimes they end up in the holes or alleys or even trees if they get blown far enough. Look, see? The old lady turned back to the river and leaned a bit over the railing. She pointed gleefully at the debris floating by. See, that's some wood, and scraps of a dress. At that there is a whole bunch of booklets. Shreds of the town history was carried up by the frozen river. The storm the night before had been a strong one, and it had clawed out the houses and ripped at the streets, until chunks of them flew into the stream. Things long buried beneath the snow and earth were dug up once again by the forces of nature. And they were carried away, like a dour little parade. It was a dreary sight, but the mysterious lady couldn't stop bouncing around like a child in a toy shop. Lillian watched at the river with the usual stone face. Half of a cabinet floated by, dresses and dolls poured on a song but to the icy bottom. Miss Doll, were you given a name? Yes, I was. Could you tell me what it is? It's Lillian. Lillian, do you like the name Lily? Lily? Yes, I'll match with my name so nicely. I was called Holly. Holly put on her knee a clumsy ballerina. That's nice, isn't it? Lily and Holly. It's more like Holly and Molly will be better, but okay. I suppose it's tolerable. Just then Lillian spotted something in the water. It was a ratty bit of cloth bobbing through the shredded wood. Stained, threadbare, and oh so familiar, oh no. Lily, what are you looking at? The doll pointed to the water. It's his. There was no hesitation. Holly threw down her shovel, climbed onto the railing, and dropped straight into the sea of debris. Girl, what are you doing? She crashed into the water below with a loud splash. The doll, in a panic, leaned over the side to catch a better look. Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself. Those words replayed over and over in her mind. Booming slow, she could swear she heard something rattle. They weren't at the bridge, and they weren't at the church either. They disappeared into the storm of night. How could they? Lily, I got it! A cheerful suck-through smile beamed from down below. Holly was waving through the stream of scraps, swinging the ratty hat with her one arm. No worries, it's sucky ducky, Lily. I got it right here. It was Noel's hat, drenched with ice water and ripped on one side. The owner was nowhere to be seen. I'm guessing he's dead. So Holly climbed off the shivering cold with her prize in hand. Father, I got a question. Despite such ferocious temperatures, the woman stood tall and proud with a single twitch. Father, I've been thinking. She picked up her shovel and handed the worn through at the doll. Father! Oh, I'm sorry, were you saying something? I was saying an awful lot, but your treasure's attention was unfairly divided. I was thinking about it, Father. This is so extremely strange. That lady, she said there wasn't any people in town. I see where you're going with this, dude. But I won't be answering a thing. What? Why not? Well, isn't that what a story is for? The joy of finding out? I have so many questions I want answers. There will hardly be a story if I just told you all the reveals immediately. You're right, but... She got scared. Oh, the weather's getting rough, I think. Just like in the story. Father, what is wrong with you? It's thunder! Thunder! I thought you said you weren't scared, but rather merely cautious. I am, I'm sorry, I've been a bit rude. If you would like, we can take a break and go to bed early. Mother can fetch you some hot milk too. I don't want to. Oh? I want to hear the rest. You are headed to Leader's dolt. You little lady are a little disrespectful with your dad. Just stop in the middle of something. I'll admit it, I'm happy to hear that. Unfinished things are the worst, aren't they? If you get scared, just hold on to Papa's lap, alright? Stop being so disgusting and get on with the story already. How is that disgusting? Yes, as it was. Well, I guess like grown-up kids doesn't like that. But I don't know how old is she. Without a shiver or a single thought, Holly followed behind Lillian like a cheerful baby. Like a cheerful baby dog following its mother. Lillian did not mind, or at least didn't show it. She wasn't a stranger's death. They wandered through the streets, knocking on the doors of the deserted houses. There was never any answer. One of the doors was hanging off its hinges, busted full of tiny holes. The splintered wood was scattered across the floor inside and further in. There was a lovely set of a table and the chairs overturned. The vase that must once be full of flowers was crushed to pieces from the unseen impact. I wonder what breakfast was like here, Holly mused, stomach rumbling. Maybe soup and biscuits with any worms, and the soap stick as can be, oh my. As Holly rumbled on, the doll found her eyes drawn to the base. She could almost hear the crack and it had hit the ground. However, long ago that had been. She suddenly wished very badly to leave that miserable little house. With the snow falling like that, everything looked new again. Newly built, newly broken, newly left behind. The doll's shoes crunched slowly on the snow and the coins in her skirt jingled as a constant reminder. Searching, nothing in sight. The coins seemed to jingle out louder. Holly followed behind all the same, oddly silent and without a trace. She looked up on the buildings without a shred of distaste. Perhaps it was all the field trip to her. A fun little adventure to refresh the mind. Her empty shirt sleeves flew about joyfully. She left no footprints, and her grip on the shovel was that of an iron. Is she a ghost? Lily, what's the person you're looking for look like? They look like a bum. And what do they act like? They act like a bum. They act like they got it figured out, okay. And what will you do when you find them? I'll tell them goodbye and go. Holly let out a bright, wonderful laugh. Oh goodness, Lily, we're much in more ways than one. So she went to find other people to say goodbye. And not in the houses, not in the streets, not in the river below. There was no trace of the raggedy coat or bother, no good green. It was as if the storm was have wiped them away completely. There was only one place left to look. Without quite realizing it, Lillian stopped in her tracks. The clearing seemed to be staring right at her. Oh goodness, Lee, what's the matter? It's the last stop. I'm sure you won't be right here. We shouldn't go there. Oh? She was frozen in her spot somewhere she could almost hear the sound of cracking glass. Just yesterday she'd been fine, but suddenly there was a great darkness growing within her. I don't know, there's something wrong with that place. We shall head back. Don't you want to find the person we searched all over town? Stop talking about it. Lily! No more. That old voice came out stronger than it had in years. It shook ever so slightly with a fragile metallic edge. I know the one I'm looking for is out there, and if it's scary, I don't mind. Oh, it's not the doll talking, it's Holly, I'm sorry. I've been looking far and wide, but it doesn't matter, nothing matters at all. Not until I find where he is. She spoke firmly with a faraway look. It was clear to her mind had been made up a long time ago. The biting wind struggled at her empty shirt sleeve as she stared down at the frigid doll. That's okie dokie, Lily. I had such a wonderful time with you anyhow. Oh, do take care of yourself. Thank you. Holly gave her friend a good nod and turned to march into the frost. Lillian watched her smaller and smaller until she was swallowed up by the wind. Once again, the doll was all alone. Not knowing what to do, she sat against the crawling village while with her box settled beside her. There was a peculiar sensation in her chest. All this time she had been well enough. Her box and some sparkling copper was all she needed. Those were the only two things to contemplate. But suddenly, there was this crackling noise in the distance, and it has worked its way into her head. It made her feel like she would break apart. They don't feel pain, and they make a wonderful crystalline ring when they're smashed. I have to go. I have to go already. Her head was full of crackling, but something compelled her to stay. She didn't want to break apart, she didn't want to be alone. You know, they say it's easier to be alone when you have always been alone, but then it's hard to be alone when you had some company. Like, if you're always alone, that's okay, but once you find someone you want to be with, even if you lose that person, you can't be alone anymore, even if you want to. A crow was hopping along the ground in front of her, its rumpled feathers flicking off the snow. It suckled like a sore thumb in that vast expanse of white. It was dragging something across the ground, it sparkled in the light. It was something made of metal. Now I had to say it was too cold for a living thing here, and yet there was a bird with her straight little cry and heavy wings. They stopped hopping and looked at Lillian for something. What do you want? They danced around a bit more, trying to get a good grip of the thing in its beak. The metal thing was small, but its sound seemed to echo loudly throughout the entire landscape. A white and black crow flew, disappearing into the distance. The sound in Lillian's head grew louder. It was louder than the wind or storm. The din that was eating away at her was farther, much farther away, deep in the place she didn't want to go. The doll stepped out slowly, her hands pulled tight around her music box. She took one step forward, and then another, and then another. She picked up the pace until she saw flecks of bark flickering through the snow. There was a forest of aspen trees, hiding away in the distance. And in it, she heard the call of the crow. Okay. Oh, beautiful trees. The doll chased after the crow and it darted through the winter aspen. The silver gleam in its mouth clanked against the bark as it flew. The doll picked up her skirts and ran. Farther and farther into the wood. She will run as far as she had to. Eventually, the crow will tire. Eventually, it will land. And with it, its scintillating prize. In that endless sea of white, the splotch of darkness spiraled down into a pile of splintered bramble. Lillian approached it, but the crow only danced around the spot. It was a battered nest that had fallen from somewhere up high, the precious eggs scattered in the frigid power snow. They were frozen solid. The crow pushed at them with its beak. Oh no. As if to offer them some sort of comfort, but there was only a hard clack at the frozen shells were taken. The crow dropped its silver treasure into the nest and flapped in its healing wings. Despite being made of broken twigs and brambles, the thing truly sparked. It had been decorated with a collection of stolen shiny goods, so that it glittered with the winter lightning. Lillian bent down and slowly the crow pecked at the ground around the eggs. They locked eyes, Lillian's own cold, uncaring stare against the bird's dark and glassy look in the silence of the forest. And there was hardly any movement. And then the crow really looked to the sky again. Lillian watched it fade into the maze of trees before turning her attention back to the half-destroyed nest. Inside was a collection of trinkets, from coins to art clips to clumps of shiny foil, but the heaviest of all was the silver glinting thing the bird has dropped just moments before. The doll picked it. For some reason, the loading thing stays here, as if it will break at any second. What a beautiful, lovely little silver locket. There were the signs of an engraving on its front, but it was now reduced to tin, messy lines due to years and years of wear. Somebody had loved this. Somebody had run their thumbs over its front time and time again, as an unconscious self-ritual. When Lillian held it, she felt the heaviness of its many years in her hand. She tore and then clicked open. What is? Inside there was a tiny photo of a moving young man. There was a spattering of freckles across their face and a wide, charming smile. They looked handsome in their best and tie, with their hair slicked back in their Sunday best. There was a whitish edge at the side of the photo. It was torn from a larger one and a larger picture. They had a life with many others in it. The doll clamped the locket shut. It didn't make any sense. Why would it be Noel? Why would they be there? They looked so clean up and in place, unlike that wash-up drifter with the snow peeling on them. Ceramic and glass and metal were cracking together. Somewhere in the wood, Lillian held very still. It was close. She took over the locket away in her skirt. It was very close. very, very close. The doll stooped slowly. She stepped over the frozen eggs as not to break them, but was startled by the crunching sound of her own boot in the snow. Ceramic and glass and metal and earth. Within the aspen cluster there came a passionate sharp clanging. The sound of metal meeting frozen earth rang as loud as church bells. Lillian looked out. There was a white flex of speckled wood, and a glint of light beyond them. The ringing continued. It kept the same steady pace, determined to reach its prize. The metal hit something else with a terrible crank, and Lillian felt as if something sharp and dug into the weight within her. It was the sound of ceramic crackling apart, a terrible ringing that could only come from a violent battering, a spray of bullets, or a powerful swing meant to kill. The darkness within Lillian began to grow. The doll realized that her hands were shaking. The ball joints on her fingers were making the slightest clinking noise as porcelain hit porcelain. It was unlike the shaking of a human does when they are freezing in the cold. Instead, it was like every part of her wished to escape itself. Oh no, she's falling apart. Like literally falling apart. If she was a creature that could breathe, she would have held her breath. If she had breathing hard, it would stop. The doll suddenly became aware of every part of her that could be broken. All at once, the clanging stopped. Lillian realized she had clamped her hands over her ears. She brought her shivering hands back, having a breakdown, to her sides. There was nothing more. Emptiness upon more emptiness poured in. A sea of white with speckled wood, a glint of light beyond them, the glint of metal shovel stabbed through the frozen earth. It was almost like an invisible thread was pulling her nearer. She gripped her box tight and walked forward. There was a small clearing, and in this clearing was a pit filled with ceramic faces. Cracks scrabbled their features like gnarled scars, the pine chipping of to reveal the nothingness underneath. The eyes looked skyward looking for nothing, the arms lay shattered, reaching for nothing. The tattered uniforms and crippled fingers intertwined with each other as the gentle snow blanket at their remains. The only vision of life in the terrible pit was Holly, standing with an ancient skull in her hand. She was looking directly into its empty eye sockets. She was trying to tell it something. Right outside the pit was a collection of various bones, loving lined up by size, femurs and ribs, and the quiet leader made up the audience. "Captain," Holly said, "it's nice to see you again. I miss you so awfully bad. Don't worry, Captain. I'll put you back down soon. I just want to see you for a little while." Yeah, my god, this is too sad. She balanced the skull perfectly with her one hand, and her empty sleeve swung beside her. She had traveled far and wide, and yet still was tethered to one desolated place. The place where her captain, once so gallant and sturdy, had been felled into an ocean of ceramic bodies. He was found lying limp, and so he was pushed beneath the earth like the others. She placed the skull alongside the rest of the body and finally turned to look at Lillian. Holly wasn't shaking in the frozen wind, and her gaze was firm and steady. It made sense why she carried that shovel now. This is what she had come to do. Lillian looked to the pit below. "Who are they?" "I don't know. I just know they were fast and not afraid to die. I know all the places where they break the best." Captain fought the best, but ended up jumping with the rest of them. With one hand she began to shovel the dirt and snow back other bodies. The glassy eyes did not blink even once as they were buried a second time. Lillian sat quietly as she watched Holly work. She couldn't tell if she would be afraid of something else entirely, so she sat completely still. All she knew for sure is that she was scared to be alone. After some time, the one-armed stranger began to dig another hole besides the row of beloved ones. Her pace never faltered. "I thought that when I came here I would recognize the one who killed Captain, that I get so awfully angry. But I keep searching and searching and all the faces look the same. I couldn't get angry like that. I couldn't even get angry when Captain died. Even when he told me to leave, I couldn't get angry or happy or cheerful or anything. It was like nothing happened at all. But when I tried to walk as I always have, I lost my balance so easy. And then my arm starts aching up, even if it's not there. And I'd seek the captain, telling me to leave." Her face stayed the same as always. It was like the faces that had been buried just moments before. But across it, at the mention of Captain, there was a small spark of something warm. Holly finished covering the last of the bones and gave a great sigh. Well, that's all there is to it. He'll snow even more and that'll make the grapes even prettier. What will you do next? Holly mused over the doll's question for a long while. The doll watched her carefully. I think I'll go live. But not because the captain told me so. Oh my, that's rude, isn't it? But when I saw you and the one fellow yesterday, I thought it would be nice to try that out. Living? I think I want to find what really means. Don't you think that would be so wonderful? Yes, maybe. You're as pretty as the fresh fallen snow. Don't you want to come as well? And that ratty looking guy too when we find him. Let's all go together. All of us? All of us. The doll held the locket even tighter. She knew what she had to do. Their Estete's figure in the gently falling snow was etched into her mind. She will find them and return the locket. And together they will leave the town behind. Lillian and Holly left the grapes in their wintry base to be never disturbed again. Out from the clearing, the two trudged the snow coming down harder than ever. The outline of the town barely peeked through the blustering winter white. Holly's teeth were rattling softly, but Lillian was undisturbed by the storm. If she could feel the biting wind, if her fingers could turn black and blue, if her feet could grow sore from walking, if her skin could grow chapped from the cold. It was like a splinter in her side, any idea that would not go away. The cracked faces in the pit of death, their eyes frost over with a thin powder like the sugar dusting on pastries. The silence had been deafening loud around them. If Lillian was made of flesh and blood, surely this would be different. The piece of her that was blank would age with painful life. Instead, there was nothing. She knew she was no different than the tangle of limbs in the outskirts staring into the sky without a single thought, outraged and soulless and easy to shatter. A thing that lives solely on the wishes of others is a thing that shouldn't exist. Nothing, nothing, nothing. It was Holly's hand on her shoulder that brought the doll back. There was a warm and a small squeeze. Let us all go together. It was a wonderful, wonderful thought, but the hand on her shoulder stayed. Lily, Holly urged, her breath right against the dull porcelain ear. Is that the guy you were looking for? Lillian searched the sky and a thin figure was flickering in and out of the wind. They were standing on the edge of the town, only as far as Lillian had gone the day before. An invisible wall stopped them. Their coat was pulled tight, but their grip was nothing compared to the furious wind that threatened to break their entire body apart. Their heads swayed from side to side as if would disconnect. They were looking for something unseen. Searching, searching. But it was already gone. It's them, Lillian found herself saying. She heard walking. The flickering figure looked as if it was about to go out. They were frozen in their place, the snow piling up around them. Searching, searching, Lillian went even faster. The image of the steel grip and the gunpowder stains and the dying weeds beneath the snow were scratched into her fragile memory, but Lillian felt something surge from the blackness. She didn't want that figure to flicker out. Rushing forward, he dived into her skirts and pulled out the old hat. She wept in the air. Noel! Is he dead? I hope he's not dead. The searching stopped. The figure smiled and a gust of wind tore through the air behind them. And then they crashed to the ground. Noel! And so the doll... Darling, are you asleep? It was some time, wasn't it? Even if it's one of the most dramatic romantic moments, that's alright. Get some sleep. Ah, just in time. Wait a moment. Draftsman? Ah, it's so damn snowy out, goddamn. This fellow looks familiar. Excuse me for the language. It's so hecking snowy out. Did you bring the papers? Yeah, I got them. Thank you so kindly, you wonderful, beautiful creature, you. I see how it is. Not even concerned about my health, huh? It's just the damn papers. I say it's just the damn papers. Oh yes, the papers. They're perfect condition, thank you. But if you could watch your language around my daughter, I will appreciate it. Sure. Curse you for making an old foggy like me shuffle around in the bureau office at the time of night. And run around in the storm too. Have you no respect for your old master? Oh, only all the respect, sir. It's because of my respect for you that I asked you to find this. I got some of the papers, but the locations of the rest were nebulous at best. Well, that's because nobody cares about a story like this. I care. I know you care. You care about everything. Maybe I should see a doctor about that. Somebody has to care about stories like this. I think the most romantic voices are found within. I would like to teach my daughter about that kind of thing of care as well. There's little documentation of the town beforehand, just a few snippets about the use of doll soldiers during the previous conflict. It can be assumed that the anti-doll sentiment was high, but nobody much writes about the experience of the dolls themselves. Their struggles, their influence, and their lives are all written around the margins of others. Master, is it not important to preserve these kinds of stories for the sake of humans and dolls alike? Damn it. When you sound like that, I don't know where to be proud of you or be bored to tears. You're nothing like your old master at all. Don't be like that, sir. You tell me everything I know. Sure. Now show me what a good student you are and tell me a bit of the coolest story you got there. Oh, goodness, you're going to love it. It's so romantic and traumatic. Just get on with the damn thing. Right. So it was sometime after the great fall, but the snow was still falling in droves. You're a hard worker. Well, I guess you have to be, since I pay good money for you. You know, you ought to express yourself a little more. You're pretty stiff. Sorry, is that rude? Well, Look, as silly as you can be, you're perfectly fine as you are. God damn it, Ducks. If anything were to happen to me, I'd like to think you could carry on well enough. I've been thinking about that, with the way the world's headed. If it comes to it, don't be afraid to do what you want. Dolls deserve a little happiness too. It was a warm tap on the shoulder that brought Lydian back from her dream. Holly stood by her in the dark entrance of the theater, her trusty shovel still in hand. Hold up, bucko. She got one arm, right? Uh-huh. And she's holding a shovel, right? That's correct. I asked you to tell me a story and you're already spilling out inconsistencies. Some student you are. Well, maybe she put down her shovel, tapped her shoulder, and picked it back after. It's your job to make it make sense, damn it. Didn't I tell you to watch your language around here? Dear God, just tell me the story already. It's okay, maybe you can tap someone while holding an object, right? You don't necessarily have to. Holly stood by her in the dark entrance of the theater, her trusty shovel still in hand, after picking it up again. Gosh, Lily, are you alright? You were making all these noises. I had a nightmare. Oh goodness, really? Wow, that's so awful. It's the worst. But it's actually not that bad because I lied. The poor woman shifted uncomfortably in her spot under the powerful gaze of the doll. She stood no chance. I'm sorry, Lily. I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not. I'm telling the truth about lying, but I will lie about telling the truth. Do you get it now? Yep. Good. There'll be a quiz. No problem. Lillian turned her attention back outside. The sky wasn't indistinguishably white as always, but the snow was really piling up now. The streets had gone from a light dusting to a sea of powder. The winds were getting greedy, tugging at the roof and poles like a badly mannered child in a candy shop. That's oddly specific. And this storm will be awfully nasty, don't you think? I suppose so. Then it's a good thing we're all over here. Oh, I get to spend the night with Lily. I'm not gonna do the teehee. You're excited. Because it's nice. Oh, and there's that ratty guy you were looking for too. It's like camping but indoors. What was that about? Is he dead? Lily, you're not so well, are you? I'm just thinking too much. It's not terrible. But we should probably go check ducks. Ducks get lonely. The ducks? Oh, here it is. So too surprised the injured dog was alright and carrying the bride. Ah, so that's why he's always covering his eye. Okay. Despite the dramatic fainting before, they now had their trademark green post back on. Thank God he's alive. I was thinking I was heading for heaven a second time, but I'm glad he's saying it. It'd be pretty sad if heaven had such a crowded roof job. Ah, so you didn't die after all. The whole gang is here. If they did die, we'll have to take care of the body. There's plenty of snow out, it will probably keep for a while. Hey girls, are you planning out my murder or something? A body can last for as long as you want if it's frozen. The trouble is just keeping the temperature down. Seriously, this is making me all sorts of nervous. Don't worry, Mr. Boomman, your body isn't kind of rot in the slightest. If it makes the cleanup easier, then I guess that's not so bad. Hey, I never did catch your name. I'm Noel. I'm Cal Holly. Oh, but I already knew your name. Ah, so Miss Lynn here already told you. Nope. I figured it out myself. Aren't I clever? Oh, I'm the best. I already know all about you. All about me? How'd you figure that? I was watching. Watching? To see if you were dangerous. And what if I were dangerous? We won't be having this conversation, I think. The lady's face was overflowing with innocent charm, but the dim light glinted menacingly of her sturdy shovel. Yeah, you seem like a real nice missus. She's alright. Thank you. Yeah, I won't trust someone with a shovel. Especially someone as strong looking. It looks nice out there. Holly said it'll get worse. Way worse. It's gonna get awfully nasty. I can feel it. So you've been watching the storm as well, huh? Oh, of course. It's going to be big. A twig like you will get blown away in no time. You'll get spun into the air and into a tree. Then we have to shake you down. You can do that with apples too, or pears or plums. That's right, but hopefully they won't splatter like a plum on the way down. Sorry about the ducks. They are my neighbor's ducks. I don't know if you can hear them, but sorry anyway. For him, it's a little of splatter and a lot of a shatter. Shatter? You girls sure about not murdering me, think? Cause I'm really starting to worry. Don't worry. You can trust us, Mr. Boomman. Yeah, that doesn't help at all. They watched the snow come down for a long time. It seemed like everything would be drawn away in a sea of white, the buildings, the streets, and the glass. The sky grew darker and darker until everything faded together, and then it was night. Lily, do you mind? Mind what? I've been curious, might I see that box? My music box, you mean? Oh, only if it's alright. It sounded so lovely when you played before. But I never got to hear it for myself. Please, oh please, you don't mind, do you? It was just the nicest thing I had the greatest sound in the whole world. If it's you, it won't be so bad. Oh, Lily, you're the best. No, Lily, don't hand over your box. It's yours. And for the first time, the doll gave her box away. In the cold depths of night, Lillian heard her song. It was steady, but it sounded so different. Something inside of her felt strange. Oh, I'm doing it right, aren't I? But how is she playing the music box while holding the shovel? You are. Yay, I'm the best. But Lily, what's with the face? You don't look happy. It's fine, I just haven't played for me before. It sounds different when you're on the other side. Does it sound good? It's good. Then I'm happy. The cheerful soldier bounced around with her shiny new contraption, her empty sleeve flying around in merriment. But behind Lillian, there were footsteps. Noel extended his hand with a flashy bow. Good evening, miss. May I have this dance? I don't know. May you? Come on now. You're supposed to say of course. You handsome scoundrel. Or something like that. Oh yes, I've been waiting all night for a suave gentleman such as yourself to ask me just that. I'll play along as soon as I see a suave gentleman. You know, I've been told I got some gentleman charmed by plenty of folks. That's so sweet of them. I feel like I'm getting made fun of again. Miss, are you making fun of me? Yes. Thank you for being honest. Always. This is a cute exchange between these two. And with that, she took his hand. The doll had never danced before in her life. She wasn't built for it, after all. She felt clumsy in her thick traveling boots, stumbling around with her own gauky footsteps echoing back to her. The theater floor was warped and uneven, the ceiling was broken through. Still, Holly cheerfully cranked the music box. Still, Noelle patiently guided her steps. And still, the doll danced as best as she could. How do you feel? I feel like I'm doing this all wrong. It's all about practice, miss. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It helps to lean into the romance, too. Is there something you're trying to say? Nope, I'm just giving friendly advice. I see. You know, miss, this place was actually pretty grand back in the day. The flicks they show, everyone looked downright gorgeous, all dressed up and shiny and such. Movie magic, but it's real nice to think about it. The music will fill the whole place and it was like you were really there with those gorgeous people, dancing away. Gorgeous. I said gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Were there only dance movies? There were action flicks and spooky ones and some raunchy ones for sure, but the best ones had dancing. Why? Because that's the most emotional part. You get real close to somebody and you don't worry about anything else. You don't have to say a word. And yet you have been talking this whole time. You asked, Miss Lillian. I think you want to know more about me. You keep disappearing. Do I? I can't explain it, but you keep fading away. I'm here right now, but I don't know if you will be here in the morning. Then you just have to keep an eye on me. Noelle, if I were a priest, you could confess to me. Miss Lillian, is there something you're trying to say? I'm just giving friendly advice. Gotcha. As a friend to another friend. If I were to confess something, I think it's that. Lillian watched patiently Noelle's expressions while she stared as before, but returning to something wistful. She held his hand tight, she will let him slip away. I think it's that my luck is all wrong. I was born all wrong, and no matter what I did, I couldn't do a single thing right. Not one damn thing. But all of a sudden, I get lucky and play pretend for a while. How's that supposed to work? It's like all the luck in my whole life was stapled for this moment. I just can't figure it out. Lillian, do you know? Because I'm happier than I ever was. And I don't know how it even happened. To someone peeking from the frigid outside, the slide will be an odd one. A trio of disheveled wanderers dancing as if they were nobles, tripping over the upset floorboards. A one-armed scattered soldier lowing louder than the music itself. An untidy drifter with the poise of a well-mannered gentleman. A stone-faced mechanical doll turning in circles around him. The music filled the room and it was as if the past had never happened, as if the room was full of people again. Everyone was draped in pearls and satin. There were drinks to be shared and laughter to be had. And best of all, the storm could hardly be heard. It was just music and dancing and thankful confessions until the moment melted into the late hours of night. For a while, it was forever. God, I want a cigarette. If you want to smoke, then feel free to walk right outside. Yeah, you can smoke. My daughter's here. Who are you, and what do you think you're doing? Yes, just pretty rough for a greeting, ain't it? Are you a thief? You sure look like one, and a atrocious apparent criminal. Watch it, sister. You're gonna get me all in a huff. I'm a friend of your old ones, okay? He's the idiot who asked me to come here and disturb me in the first place. Oh, then where is father? I can only assume you knocked him out cold and disposed of the body. As nice of an idea that is, no. He was telling me his sappy story here, but he fell asleep. So I pushed him off the bed for a bit. You will know if they hadn't gone off to Snowsville yourself. Grr, why you? Damn, if the old fart ain't working hard too. I bet he's been up through the night. Don't he know that nobody cares about stories like this? I happen to care, you fucking smoky moron. What did you say to me? father stays up all night piercing together his tales because he sees something in them. Something about romance drama, sweeping epics of grand emotion. Really, whatever is he talking about? What a total dolt. Staying up so late for some silly papers. It makes no sense, not even a little. Just like I stay up late doing these videos, but hey, if you love it, you love it. So I don't know what he's talking about, but for some troublesome sake I decided to find out. Yeah, he isn't anything like his master, and you're nothing like yours. Damn, it's all too confusing. You're not allowed to say certain words here. Yeah, I know. I think it's about time I get out of this place. Tell your daddy to get some sleep every once in a while, right? Otherwise, I'll give him a taste of what eternal rest he seems to keen on. I'll be sure to. Good night, Mr. Smoky Moron. Yeah, good night. I'm sorry, dear. It seems I went right off to Slumberland. That's alright. Well, you'll continue the story, won't you? Oh, of course I will. But it's ending soon. All good things must come to an end. Wow, what a romantic, dramatic face, right? Father... My apologies. Let's see. Although the dancing was long over, the blizzard still remained. In the middle of the night, Lillian heard something. There were careful steps echoing at the terror one could say the steps of a thief. She waited until... we're still missing the cat, and the disciple before dragging herself to see. On one side of her, Holly was curled up like a puppy and snoozing away. She clung to her shovel like a teddy bear. She still had a blissful smile, even if she was drooling a little. On her other side... Yeah, he went away, right? There was nothing. She made sure the boom had been the first to go to sleep, pulling the ratty hat over their eyes and snoring away. She watched him carefully, observing his every breath, weak and small and shaky. She refused to let them flicker out. Still, despite all her efforts, he managed to run away. There was a sound from the front of the tether. She scrambled to her feet, completely forgetting her precious box. And not the box! And he ran before he disappeared for good. Gosh, Miss Leah, it's too late out for running around like that. Why don't you head back to bed? He was standing with one foot on the hard dirt floor and another deep in the snow. Behind that grin there was a small shaking. The wind howled powerfully around them. You're running away again. That's a pretty cool way of putting it. It's more like I'm having a playdate, but I gotta go home now. Yeah, that's more like it. So if you'll excuse me... A doll reached into her skirts and pulled out the silver locket. The wind that found its way into the terror took it uncredibly. Hey, that's mine. Explain it. It's just a little keepsake, that's all. Miss Lillian, you're really putting me on the spot. If I don't, you'll... Thank you. Without moving from their place, they wrapped their hands around Lillian's and the locket. They were very, very cold. Their freezing hands were shaking. But still, they had one foot in the snow. Why do they look like you? It's not me, but it's half me. Explain it. It's well, Miss Lillian, it's a whole thing. I really got to be going now. Come on, don't make me feel so guilty. Here, if I tell you, you'll shut up, won't you? Seeing you so like this is gonna make me have a guilty conscience. I thought a sinner like you will be used to having a conscience like that. Alright. You got me. I won't run away again. He stepped out of the snow and into the safety of the tether, leaving the cold behind. It's a long one, miss. I haven't really told many folks about it, so I might try about my words here and there. It's not a problem. That's a relief. I have to think on it a little bit. The first thing I can remember, the first memory I know is mine. At least it's her face looking down on me, soaked with hot tears. The first thing I said as myself was don't cry, but obviously she only broke down even more. She ran her thumb across my face and there were others too, looking just as tearful in the back. She had a very big family, or I guess we did. I had a lot of memories of those people, even if I don't remember actually being there. It's a funny feeling, having all those memories and stories in my head, but none of them really belonging to me, so I tried to do what he will do. As she sobbed, I stroked her hair. It was a pretty trendy thing back then, memory dolls. They were better than the usual dolls in processing power apparently, and they could be modeled to look just like identical to anybody you want. Oh, so he's a doll too, just like if you die, someone takes your memories and put them in a doll that looks just like you, but the doll knows they are not you, right? And that to them was a real person. They didn't have any visible joints or nothing, basically human. Back then, a lot of boys were going off and dying. That left twice as many folks to miss them. So memory dolls were nice anesthetic, at least for a while. Ah, because there were also like soldier dolls, right? They mentioned that. There was this one time when she took my hand and searched it, feeling for something. Maybe the old guy, the real one. He'd had a scar or a bomb there or something. It wasn't programmed with that memory, so I could only laugh it off. We played house pretty well. She was enamored with me. With my likeness, with my familiarity. I was thankful that I didn't have joints you could see. Walking around town, people really thought we were a completely normal couple. I wonder how those strangers would react if they know I was just wearing some dead guy's face. Speaking in some dead guy's voice, that explains why he doesn't die with the cold, right? Living his life wearing his clothes like they were my own. I never learned how he died. Nobody wanted to speak about it much. There's a reason, miss, why memory dolls feel out of fashion. It's because no matter how hard you try to paint it over, they are still just dolls, made of mechanical bits and cogs and wheels like any old wristwatch. And the more I tried to play house, the farther apart we got. She asked me these questions once I wasn't really able to answer. I tried to laugh them off, but God, something was really wrong with me. I'd look and look, but it was just, I wasn't born with that memory. It was like feeling your way through the dark. He wouldn't do that, it's too strange. I heard her sobbing to her mother one night. I didn't even know what I'd done wrong. Probably nothing. She just kept sobbing and sobbing. That was the moment, I think, when she realized that Noel was dead and he wasn't never coming back. So they just throw you away? Our last trip together was when the snow was gentler, when you didn't have to worry about sleeping around or anything. It's when it's just pretty and light and sticks a little to your hair. Miss Lillian, you should have seen it. This town back in the day was so alive. There were more vendors for sweets all around, and musicians and people lived in the houses and walking the streets. When the snow got real heavy, everyone was excited because that meant the sledding was going to be fantastic. This theater was something else too. That was my favorite part, the big screen with the tiniest flicker and grain, the swelling music, seeing people live 1,000 different lives. Being a movie star will be nice, won't it? You beat a different folks at once. You get to be a different folks at once. The rear wasn't always dirty like that, either. Geese used to swim around in it, and you could throw food down to them and watch them splash around. And when it got to be night, oh, the stars reflected real pretty off that water. Whoops. It was at the bridge that she gave me the locket. She always worn it, every single day since I could half remember. And when she was fusing over something, she rubbed it with her thumb. She was flirting with the awful lot right before she gave it to me. She had a killer smile that's not the old me speaking. That's what I really think, even now. So with that heart melting grin on that romantic night, pushing the gift into my chest, she ran her thumb across the side of my face and said, "Don't cry." I wasn't crying, but she wasn't talking to me. "Wait for me here, I'll be right back." It had to be a long time since she smiled like that. Since oh no. She'd been close to me at all. She pulled away with teary eyes all at once. The gap between us became uncrossable. She walked off into the festival crowd and disappeared for good. I remember thinking the strands of hair that fell from her braid looked kind of nice and wispy, how they floated in the air a little. A memory all of my own. I wasn't quite sure, but I'd like to think I had cherished that all by myself. The festival ended and the sun came back up again. The streets were clean and the sun went back down. The snow piled up around me, and I didn't think in the slightest mood. That's something only a doll will do. So he always comes back to the spot where she left him, right? I'm guessing. "Wait for me here, I'll be right back." I know exactly what they mean. Yeah, because he's programmed to wait here. That's why he always escapes. He gets back home, in quotes. The thing about people is that they say and do a lot of empty things, use a lot of simple words to fill the air for the sake of it, but dolls are too efficient. Too mechanical to do that kind of thing. Dolls don't waste breath. Hell, dolls don't breathe. They have everything in place already. I can push air in and out, but I don't breathe. I can get parts replaced, but I still get tired. I'll follow whatever command, even if it's completely weightless. Memory dolls aren't around much anymore. They are just not very practical. For people or for themselves. One way or another, I got to traveling around. Gosh, Miss Lillian, the world is so big. There's water that goes on forever, and mountains that fly into the clouds, and sunsets in all sorts of colors. I was lucky enough to catch a few odd jobs here and there, enough to cover a night at the hotel. I could save money on food, I didn't need it. That's one perk to being a doll, I guess. No matter how far away, I will find my way back here again. As soon as the snow started falling, real gentle like, the bridge and all its stars will be waiting for me. She said she'd be right back, so I waited. The festival was always nice, there was dancing and lights all around. It was really something to make you feel outfilled with fireworks inside. But I will die out like a candle, I'd be left in the dark again. A year of lights, a year of fireworks, a year with a little less people, a year with posters pasted all over the walls. A year where the train shut down, so I had to walk a while. A year while the festival was gone for good. The town was flickering out like a light, but I couldn't help to come back. The year with the smoke wasn't too long ago. The trains had been gone for a while, so I was trudging through the snow and curling up where I could. Sometimes in the distance you could hear something awful sharp. I hope you never have to hear something like that, Miss Lillian. It's something that rings right through your cogs. But you see, I'm a real idiot, so I kept going that sound. That sounds like a glass in your ear, like a clink. Like clink. That nights were filled with stuff like that. When I arrived, the town was halfway wrecked. The only thing in the streets now there was stiff mechanical guys marching with their elms clanging around. Everybody with the means had left by that point, and those were huddled up in their houses. It gets fuzzy, but I remember the beats. I remember the sounds. I was minding my own business, headed down to where I needed to be when one of the grunts came walking up. His boots were heavy against the crumbling cobblestone. So that's how he loses his eye. I don't remember the details. He puts his hands on me, I push him off, a bit rough for a first meeting, will you say? He had this ugly dark something strapped to his back, and just looking at it I could hear that clicking sound. A machine gun, I guess. That's why Muscastle echoing in the night. I like to say empathy makes the world go around, but when I see things like that, I know there are folks out there who just don't see the appeal. I still had places to be, so I made a mistake. Oh no. There was no blood or bone, just shards of myself flying into the sky. It was funny, I got to thinking something pretty strange. Those ugly things they carried, they were made for killing. But I wasn't a person, I wasn't dead. Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they thought I was a person. Something else funny popped into my head. Miss Lillian, if I was a person, I'd be turning the snow a bright shade of scarlet. But instead there was one thing ringing through my mechanical head. Wait for me here, I'll be right back. That doll who got me, they must have been just following orders. That's what I was doing too. Because no matter how hard we went, no matter how hard I tried, I could not hear those words. That's what being a doll is. I don't know, it sounds pretty human to me. It's waiting for a long, long time, I think. Or at least that's how I see it. And the locket? That's him, the real me, or something like that. It might be hard to figure it out, as I've been skipping on my unkip, but that's about how handsome I'd look if I work it. The doll didn't know what to say. There was too much to absorb at once, but even then, she could see it. The years and years of wear, the faintest cracks along his sleeve. The way they'd barely been able to keep up with her just a few days before. Noel had been without a home for too long. And now their body, however human, however mechanical, was paying for it. You're still going to go out, aren't you? The storm will only get worse. I know that. You'll get blown away. I know that too. But I don't want you to. A soft jiggle in Lillian's palm was the fat purse of coins she put in Noel's chest. Mr. Noel, may I make a selfish request? I'll even pay you extra. I give that to you, miss. Double. Double. Triple or I'll walk. That's terrible selfish. You're a greedy bum after all. She dropped the purse into Noel's hand. Okay, miss, now I got my payment. What do you want out of this greedy bum? I want your company. That's it? Is it too much? Noel looked into the wind and swept down. Just beyond was the bridge they were... And what is the girl with the shovel doing right now? She's sleeping, right? She's sleeping. Their bodies shook ever so slightly. They could almost feel it now, and the ice and the snow covered them all completely, having been reduced to nothing until it all melted away. Leland gave their hands to their coat sleeve a small tug. We can watch it for a little while. Yes. And so the two settled down by the entrance to watch the snow come down. If the locket is so special to you, then how did you lose it? Birds. I'm telling you, miss, I was personally attacked by birds, one singular bird. They must see in the mop of yours and thought it'd make a nice nest. Haha, gosh, is it that bad? Relative to an actual bird's nest, it's exceedingly handsome. You have a way with compliments, miss. Well, anyways, I was fooling around with it when the bird comes out of nowhere and just takes it right off my hand. And then it was just circling over me over the river, miss. They were taunting me. So what did you do about it? Now that I think about it, they both have these like pointy ears. That I guess that's what keep them away as not human. Are these horns or like something? Well, I sounded too. I got up on the railing and jumped at it. I was right here, you see? I could have gone if I'd done a little farther. I knew it. You do have brain damage. So then one thing led to another and I ended up getting washed down the river with the rest of the trash. Does it really mean so much to you? Yeah, it does. It's all I got of her. It doesn't have her face or anything, but it's all I got. I think she did what she did because I reminded her too much of him. But I also think she left me because he reminded her too much of me. Funny how that works. If that's what you consider funny, you really got to work on your sense of humor. I've been told I'm a pretty funny guy, though mostly in the head, but a funny guy nonetheless. Oh, in that case, you're hilarious. Haha, thanks. Hey miss, what'll you do next? Holly says we'll go live. That sounds pretty nice. I don't know exactly what she's referring to, but I want to find out. The way she talks about it makes me think she doesn't know either. Is she a robot too? No, I don't think she is. So we'll find out together. What? I didn't think I'd hear you talk like that. It's nice. I don't understand. Before you sounded so different, like you didn't mean what you were saying, or at least wasn't sure of it. But now I don't have to worry in the slightest. Oh, that's cute. I will like it if you will come too. That will be nice. If you got tired, Holly could carry you. I could use my money to get you repaired. Noel? I'm here. Don't go yet. I won't. Just a little while longer. It's alright, miss. I'm right here. In the midst of that fiercely stormy night, the doll, once so cold and expressionless, was finally overcome with indescribable warmth. A feeling that seemed to fill the entire room in a gentle embrace. Oh, they were at the entrance of the theater, right? How sweet, how kind, how fragile. It was far too good to be true. The moment was soon to be extinguished with all the grace of a candle in a storm. But the doll, even knowing this, lay still until the breath melted into silence. Next time we meet, I'd like to have a different face and a different voice. One that belongs to me. Because next time, I want to meet you as myself. Good night, Lillian. Take care of yourself. Good night, Noel. It was nice meeting you. And so the night melted into morning, and with that, a new result was born. The end. It's so refreshing to finish a good story, isn't it? I feel like I've been born anew. I don't know. Oh, you mean you didn't like it? Father, you make it sound like a happy ending, and it isn't. The ratty guy should have gone with them, and the awful cat, what happened to them? This is no resolution at all. Calm down, dearest, that's just the nature of stories sometimes. The papers trail off there, that's all we got to work with. But father... would you look at that? The storm has completely subsided, hooray! See, the story helped you forget the weather, and it helped you learn of the past. That's the true value of it. To listen to the voices of the money that will otherwise be lost. I suppose that's right. Now, how about we get some hot milk before bed? I'll go ask Mother to heat some for us. Alright. Father left his papers out. It would be a shame if he ended up like this. That dolt? He must miss something important. Now, let's have a look here. Oh, so it continues, nice. Oh, it doesn't. Story, art and programming by kalechips. Soundtrack and sound effects by Orfeo Fan. Tracklist: Winterbirds doll version, Winterbirds violin and piano, My Father's Voice, Melt, Sunlight in the Snow, guitar by Angela Branchek. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. Frosted Walls by Oh No. Special thanks to Kija, Goblin with a Problem, and you. It's someone called you, or is it me? Oh wait, it continues, never mind. Lily, are you ready now? Yes, I am. It'll be a long walk. But also so fun if you're around, Lily. Yes, and if I get tired, you'll carry me. But of course. And my box too. That won't be a problem at all, not for me. It won't? Good to hear. I think I might bring one of the tables and chairs with us as well. I got to carry that too? Sure, if you get tired, you'll want a chair to sit on. Oh my, that makes sense, doesn't it? Lily, you're so smart. No, she's not. I'll go fetch some nice ones right away. The Duffers ran off in the streets for a little treasure hunt, leaving Lillian alone. Except... You can't come out now. The cat? From behind one of the company buildings out slinks a smoky cat. Her whiskers were twitching in the mild irritation. So you knew I was there, glass thing. What skin sense did you have for someone so terribly diligent? Nice to meet you again, rat. You're looking the same as always. Yeah, I'm not a rat, I'm a cat. And I'm not glass thing, I'm Lillian. Says who? Says you? Yes. Well, what a nice chat we have. How are we going now? Leaving? Wherever could you be going? Anywhere else. Like where? Not here. Why did I think I could ever hold a civil conversation with you? The cow rolled her eyes and turned to go, but for old time's sake, Lillian reached out and gave her tail a jank. Why do you keep doing this? Wait. What do you want from me, you fiend? Do you want to come with? What? Fill out your ears, I'm asking if you want to travel with us. That's a peculiar request. I don't know how long you've been here, but there are better things on the outside. Holly and I are going to go. See them all. Are you coming? The cat stared at the ground for a long time while swishing her tail in irritation. Such an odd request. She's long forgotten what the rest of the world had looked like. And to have a doll extend such a favor? You really think I accept such words from a foolish fool like you? I have to laugh. I'll never trust a glass thing. Not now, not ever. Stupid, foolish thing. Trip and fall and shatter apart. I hate this guy. Suit yourself. The doll turned around and left the cat standing dumbfounded. Hey, you dance. You didn't just walk away like that. The Phoenix cat mewing graylishly and smaller and harsher until she mewed herself hoarse. Look, Lily, aren't these shared sauces so delightful? Oh, so you really got them. Why, it was such a wonderful idea, of course, but I had to break down a lot of doors to find them. Oh, Lily, where are you talking to in the square? Who? So you didn't see? I just saw you staring at the ground so strangely, but there was only you. Interesting. So that's what it is. What is? Nothing. I was just saying goodbye to the town. I didn't know you were so sentimental. Not usually. Well, let's get going. Okie doke. And the cat is following, right? Holly, how would you feel about having a pet? Oh, a cute one would be nice. No, an ugly one. That's sad. I'd rather have one as cute as you, Lily. But if I had to be ugly, that's good to hear. Foolish icon, how they just slander me so. Gosh, did you say something? It was only the wind, honey. Oh, so she has horns, right? She has horns. This is like the first picture we get about her. Let's go. The day was bright and pretty and the sky was clean and clear. She marched through the crisp snow and the outside world. Lillian, her box a locket around her neck and some company for the road. Farewell. Yeah, this is like a bittersweet ending of the game. I'm gonna just look at the itch.io page real quick. It says the game takes about 3 hours to complete and it's mostly kinetic. There is only one ending. Okay, so there's only one ending. That's good. So there's the extra page, but I'm gonna see that on another video. I'm gonna do that in another video, and I'm gonna give my review, my thoughts about this game right now. So, Melting of the Winter Gears. If I have something to compare this, it's the previous work of this developer, of this author, and it's the Milky Way game. I love that game. That's one of the best games I have ever played. If I have to choose which one I like more, this one or the other one, I like more the other one, but it's like just a personal preference. This game is really heavy on the field. Like not that is a bad thing. Don't be confused. That's a good thing. And the story it ends bittersweet, but more on the sweet side. I guess. Yeah. The other doll died, right? But like dying, it's part of life. So you can be too sad about that. I mean, you can be sad about that. That's normal, but you gotta accept it, right? So it's not like they got separated while still alive. So the plot twist of the hobo being another doll was surprising to me. It didn't even cross my mind, but because I was so dumbfounded with the doll we had that I never like. It never crossed my mind that there were another dolls out there, right? And you can see like little splashes of the universe this story is in, like the marching dolls, the soldier dolls, the memory dolls. That story of the memory doll is really sad, but it's really well done. It made me feel stuff. So, is this a good game? Of course. I mean, it's more like a visual novel, right? Not much of a game. If anything, I will have more choices. Even if it's only one ending, I like to have choices. Like see different dialogues depending on what you say. That doesn't really affect the ending, but you get to experience different things. I like that personally, but this game is visually it's amazing. You know, the snow, the characters, these little scenic pictures, like when they are on the outside of the door, looking at the Bass White. That's really great. I'm sorry. I'm still processing everything I just played. Like I played these 2 hours of this game straight up, and I'm trying to talk while processing the stuff, and I get confused. I think out of 10, I will give this game a 9, like solid 9. I usually don't give 10s to anything, mostly because I think that if you give something a perfect score, it's like there's always something better no matter what you do. So I don't really give 10s to anything, not to music or anything. But this is a solid 9. That's the highest score I give to things. I still like the other game more, but that's just personal preferences. The characters in this game are really cute. I can give that to them, like super cute. From the other game, I liked Billy a lot because it was really cute, but in this game, the doll is really, really, really cute. So I don't know. I know you guys just watch. If you are here, you watch the whole thing, and thank you. But I recommend you play the game and experience it for yourself, because maybe me talking and saying dumb shit, it's ruining the experience of the game. So if you want to play the game, the link will be down in the description, as well as the link to the other game of the same developer slash author. They are both great games, and I recommend that you play them for yourself. Or you can watch my gameplay if you want, but just play the game for yourself, it's better. I will see you guys in the extra, and I hope for when I play the extra or see the extra stuff, I have my thoughts sorted out about this game. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next indie game. Goodbye. Hello guys, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and welcome to Melting of the Winter Gears. We're gonna see the extra, right? Hello, this was a bonus showing the fundraiser stream of the game. Oh, this game had a fundraiser, I didn't even know. It's extremely silly as well as completely canonical. Please enjoy. I will. Thank you. Bonus Omake Corner. Noel. Good morning, good evening, and good night, everyone. Welcome to our bonus Omake Corner. We are here to provide you with some kicks and giggles, that's right. The story has been getting pretty depressing, so I figured I ran out this time slot to lighten the mood. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Miss Lee. Wow, Miss Lee, and what are you wearing? It says Gamers Low? And she has some chaps. Yeah, who needs chips when you have chaps? And some alcohol, and it's playing a DS. That's nice, that's my favorite Noel. You got eyes, don't you? Miss Lillian, it's just not very appropriate for this sort of engagement. Then what is it appropriate for? Not the most savory kinds of engagement, that's for sure. Anyway. Okay, this extra content, it's not what I was expecting, but I love it. Let's start off with the show by reading fan mail. How about it? But we don't have any fans. Don't you say that, miss? Because I'll be in the trouble if this doesn't happen by now. Here's our first letter from Superfan Love Struck Lady, Lottie. Time for writing, Paul. It reads, there's this gal in my class I got hot for, and I wanted to confess, but she's already going steady with somebody else. I just can't keep this burning in my chest anymore. Shall I risk it all and tell her? Please help me. Gosh, Mr. Lottie, that's just the situation. If I were you, I feel just the same. But sometimes, all you can do is speak your heart. Things might not turn out in your favor, but at least you've been honest. Honest with her and honest with yourself. By the way, the music for this segment is amazing. Let's just enjoy it for a little bit. Yeah, that's some amazing music, man. These games have amazing music all the time. Honestly, it's the purest form of truth. It takes self-reflection, empathy, and courage. It's that kind of earnest living that makes the world go around. If there's a man in the way, just run him over. Yeah, nice. Miss? When you come to a bridge, you walk over it. When you come to a puddle, you trudge to it. No reason why you can do the same with a man. So that's what you really feel? Wow. It doesn't matter, she'll reject. You call yourself love-struck Lottie, so you basically lost all dignity. I love the face on Lillian. It's just perfect. I mean, I love it. Congratulations, you're on date. That's rude. That's an awful depressing way to look at things, miss. Just being realistic. Pardon my boldness, but I think you could use a little more purity in your heart. The world will be a brighter that way. Moving on. We got a letter from the wonderful Madame Vengas. Well, so ominous. What's it saying, co-host? It reads, I've been calling you all this time, but you never pick up the phone. One day you suddenly changed your number. I visited your apartment, but a different person was living there. I see you've been lying to me. Why don't you call me back? After I need all the money too. I know there were others. Do you do this every time? Take the money and run? You're heartless. Oh well, it doesn't matter, not anymore. If you don't call me back, these other old pictures will get out some very high places. Do you want that? Do we? Excuse me. Hugs and kisses. And enclosed are these pictures. No need for that, Miss Leon. I'll just take care of those. think out of the two of us, you're the one needing some purity. Moving on. This letter is kind of funny when you look at that. It's got a fancy seal on it. A mystery sender, ain't that spiffy? What's it, Miss Lillian? It says your time is up. What now? It's something about how it's time you paid up, so go ahead and try running. Oh, is there someone at the door? That's all for bonus in my corner. Time sure does play, doesn't it? It's been a pleasure to co-host on Jax. Co-host take over. Whatever you say. Oh, goodness, Lily. It's good to see you. What are you doing here? I'm just taking care of some part-time work. Say, do you see a Ratika around here? 5 foot something, sort of flimsy? Of course, he went that way. Yeah, you're the best, Lily. Oh, wanna go for drinks later? Sounds good to me. I'll kiss. The door won't open, somebody help! And I guess that's it for the bonus. Thank you for playing the game, it's much appreciated. Hopefully this bonus has expanded your worldview and understanding of the characters. That's all. He left the photos here. I'll keep this safe just in case. Wait, was this falling before? I guess the part it's closed again, so we can catch the music. Say hi to the composers. Visit Fayfield. So I guess this sends me to another page. If you guys want to see this, just download the game and. That's a great main theme, by the way. Such good songs in this game. So, return. Options. Yeah, I guess there's nothing left to see in the game. So I was expecting something different from the. I wanted to make a video with the extra content, but I guess I'm just gonna put this in the main video. It was different. The last game has some extra content, and you could see some like character profiles and some extra story that rounded up together. So I was expecting kind of that, but this is fine too. I had lots of fun with that extra content. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I know I already said that in this video, but I was expecting this one to be a different video. And about the game, I had some time to think about it, and it's such a great game. Yeah, it's 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 even if you want. I just love this kind of stories. It's just a different way of telling things, like just not your generic visual novel story, right? It how do I say it? It lets a few things hanging in mystery, but that's what it makes it good. Like you can fill all these blanks with what you learn, but you're never gonna know if that's true, and that's the magic of it, right? Like if they give you a complete ending, like an ending that closes all the doors and you learn everything that you want, it feels satisfying in the moment, but that's it with the story, right? But with endings, with stories like this, that you have a lot of it shrouded in mystery at the end, it's just, I'm gonna think about this like for a few weeks, and that's what a good story should be, right? Like you need more, but you're never gonna have it, and that's good, right? That you never get to close it up off, because that's not how life works at all. Like some things never get resolved, and that's, you gotta learn to live with it. Some things you never gonna know, but that's what's good about those things, right? I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm sorry. That just games like this makes me think of stuff that makes me smarter, maybe make my mind expand. So I'm just gonna shut up now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next indie game or stream. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.